On today's episode of Air Capital Hot Rods Garage, we're going to put the wheels on the Chevelle. So as I mentioned, we're going to put the wheels on the Chevelle. You might be saying, well heck Derek, the wheels are already on the Chevelle. Well, you'd be right. And as you saw in one of my videos, this one wheel showed up, this wheel and tire. The other three didn't. So they actually showed up the next day. I tried to put them on, and well, the back ones didn't fit exactly. First of all, the wheel studs were too short and I couldn't even get the lug nuts on. And then they were right up there rubbing on the fender well. So I'm gonna change out the wheel studs, hopefully. And then I got this handy dandy fender roller tool from Eastwood. So I'm gonna show you how to roll the fenders on a Chevelle. I already ordered all the wheel studs that should have the proper size. If you're not familiar with wheel studs, the press-in ones have knurls on them, and so they're kind of like serrated and they press in. So we'll see how difficult that is to do. I've already tried it on the back with the axles in place, and I just didn't have the room. So I'm hoping I can put them in place, put a lug nut on there, put some tension on there, and then hammer them in, tension them, hammer it in. Worst case scenario is I can take them out and put them on the press and press them in. The fronts I haven't tried yet. The original studs that are on the front might be long enough, but they were just a little bit too close that I wasn't comfortable. Changing them out's not too hard, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so while the gear lube is draining back there, to get this axle out, I'm going to have to take off this brake caliper. So, should be 2 bolts here to get the actual caliper off the bracket, and then 2 bolts behind here to take the bracket off. So, pretty straightforward. Alright guys, we got the rear brakes all taken off here. So I wanted to show you this on this differential in case you haven't done this before. So, basically your axles are in the middle of here, and there's this pin that prevents them from sliding inward, and then the C-clip's falling out. So to get this pin out, you take this bolt out here. So we unthread that. So once you slide this pin out, then you can rotate the differential around to the big opening here, and then so right up there, that shiny object, that's the end of our axle. So I'm going to reach over here and push the axle in ever so slightly. Then that pin, or sorry, C-clip, should be free. You can kind of see it dangling there. So then you can take your magnet and hopefully get it out of there. Well, come on! There we go, folks. So there's our axles. So we're just going to try to put this stud in here. All right, got it here in the vise. We're going to see if we can pull this in or hammer it in. See how this goes. And I can actually see it pulling in. Alright, one in, 9 more to go. For the rear axle, I'm using these Moser wheel studs. They're 7/16 by 20 by I think 2 7/8 is the length of them. So part number is MSR-8050. So I had to take out the wheel stud, do some measurements and stuff, and these ones were the closest that came to it and seemed to fit. So there's the part number for you. You could also upgrade to 1/2-inch studs, which probably would be a good idea. I didn't want to hassle with it right now. Eventually I'm probably going to get new axles with the C-clip eliminators for drag racing. So these are going to be a little bit long, but I kind of like that kind of race car look. So this is what we went with. Also, I was reading through the NHRA rules, and what you have to have is, so these are 7/16 inch stud, so you have to have at least 7/16 inch of thread engagement. That's the rule. Somebody online was saying, well, you have to have 3-inch studs. Well, no, you don't, because once your nut goes past here, it doesn't matter how long the stud is. Anyways, I'm going to beat these out and pull the rest of them in like I just did. Alrighty guys, got both axles done. The longer wheel studs are in. I must say that using the lug nut and washers to pull them in was pretty easy. I had to do the same thing on my 68 C10 when I got those wheels, and I think I used the press to get them in, and so it seemed like it was a lot more difficult to make sure that the studs were straight and everything, whereas, you know, using the lug nut, it just pulls them in straight. So try this if you can, and you probably need a pretty healthy impact gun. Mine's a Makita 18 volt. I'm sure if you got one of those Milwaukee's, that's going to do it easy. I don't know about the Harbor Freights. I don't know much about those. I think that impact gun does it like 650, 600 foot-pounds of torque. So installing these axles are kind of the reverse process of taking them out. So you just slide them in, put the C-clips in, push them back out that 1/2 inch, slide the big pin in, put the bolt in, and then fill your diff back up with fluid. If you got a limited slip like I do, make sure you put that that posi lube in it. It's a special lube. I think it's like a 4-ounce bottle or something. So I'm gonna go install these. Alrighty guys, we got our wheel on the back. This is a American Racing VN510 draft with the gray centers, and a Nitto NT555 G2 in a 295/40 17. So 6-inch back spacing on the wheel, and as you can see here, there's not much room there. So but that lip is pretty thick, so what we got to do is roll this fender up and under to give us some more tire clearance here. So should look pretty sick once it's installed, but it ain't gonna drive around like that very well, because as the tire bulges out here, it would definitely hit. So gonna have to roll that. And you know, the way these wheel wells are is they're kind of flat at the top, so really we're gonna end up rolling from like here to here or something like that. So gonna try this out. So gotta take the tire back off though. Try this Eastwood fender roller. Got the frame on the jack stands now. The axles drop down a little bit. Now we can bring this up more into position where we want it. Now, when I was watching this stuff, it mentioned, one of the videos said you could, you know, start the hammer roll this. So that's what I'm going to do. Now it's flat and we're trying to push it up, but if we angle it back some with the hammer, then we have a better angle at it. big wide lip like this that's flat. Got it rolled up here. It's really hard to see. But it's a lot narrower. Sorry for the light in here. Yeah, there you can kind of see it. Instead of being like that down there, it's much narrower. So I'm going to try putting the wheel back on and see if we got enough clearance. Well, folks, got the fenders rolled and got the wheels on. Everything went pretty good. Boy, working with that tool, it's a workout, so make sure you eat your Wheaties before you use that. There's a nice kind of uniform lip there, and now I think I got plenty of tire clearance, so I think we're good. Got the wheel studs in, obviously, so there's a good. Got to put the wheel studs on the front, but I can just pop those out and then pull the new ones in like I did on the back ones. So you can see how much longer the new stud is compared to the old one. So about 1/8 of an inch extra. So 20 threads per inch, so that's a couple extra threads. Alright guys, I got one of the front wheel studs installed here. I'm not going to show you everything. It's very much like the rear ones, where I'm just using the impact gun with some washers and one of the old lug nuts to just pull it in. You can get to it from the back side here pretty easily. These are 610156 Dorman. I don't know, you know, this is an aftermarket brake kit, so I don't know if these rotors are the same as a stock disc rotor or not, but anyways, that's what works with mine. So I'm gonna knock these out and pull the new ones in, mount the wheels up, and we should be good. Alright guys, we got the wheels and tires on. I didn't mention it before, these are 245 45 18-inch tires on an 18x8 wheel. I don't remember the back spacing. There wasn't an option on this particular wheel. On the back, sorry guys, I said this wrong last time. These are 295 40 18s on an 18x10 with 6-inch back spacing. So you can see a little bit better today, but I worked that fender lip out to give me the clearance, and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough. You know, when I go take it for a test drive, I'm definitely going to be listening and looking for rubbing. The idea hopefully is, as the, you know, if you go around the corner, this wheel would go in and give us a little bit more clearance, but maybe up and down it could rub, you know, in some spot, depending on how much drop it does. Guys, that's how you can install some meats on your Chevelle, how to roll the fenders, put in some wheel studs. I'll put the part numbers in the description so that if you need wheel studs, hopefully those part numbers will work for you. You definitely want to pop one out first and verify those measurements, but they work for me. So peace out, catch you next time.